Welcome back, guys. My name is Brandon, and in this week's episode we are going to get the tires mounted and we are going to get this thing running. After 15 years, this thing is finally going to start, hopefully. Let's get going. Alright, so now we're going to put in some new wheel bearings. There was nothing wrong with the ones that were in it, but I figured while we're right here, we might as well change them. We've gone to this extent, because this is actually like the brake drum. So I'm taking off the tape that I put on in the beginning before I started painting. That way it wasn't going to get this surface in here all paint. So there's a bearing, and a spacer in the middle. So I just kind of pushed that spacer over like that. And then I just took and put a socket that touched that spacer right there and just hit it, and it came right out, and I'll show you. There it is. See? And now this socket fits nicely down to push that one out. So I'm going to use a smaller tool because I don't want to hit the face of this.
There it goes. And now we got the inside bearing out.
You want to find a socket that fits the outside race of the bearing, not the inside. If you hit it against the inside, you're going to damage it. So, and the key to putting these in is try to pound them in straight as you can. See, that's going in nice and straight. See how even that is all the way around? There we go. Did you hear the sound change? That's bottomed all the way out. So we will push the seal in. We're good there. Do not forget to put your spacer in. Don't forget. Now we'll put this one in. And this one fits down in there a little bit. And we can use the same size socket. Now we can go ahead and put on our brake hub. We'll put a little bit of grease on the shaft. You don't need too much grease on the shaft though. You don't want to go too crazy.
Just a nice light coating.
Slide it onto the shaft. Oh yeah. Then this spacer slides over the shaft. Then you just tighten down this nut. Yes, now we'll torque the front hubs. Get the cotter pins through and get the wheels put together. One of the parts that I've been waiting for is getting these wheels and tires all put together. So we're going to start on that, and as I put them together, I'm going to share a little story with you. So as I was ordering parts for this episode, one of the things that I ordered, which you're going to see here maybe in this episode or the next, is I ended up ordering new plastic for it. Well, if you guys have ever searched that out, it's not cheap. Plastics are pretty expensive. And I found it on Amazon through a company, and I'm not going to mention their name, but I basically would have saved about $20. They were about $20 less than some other companies that were selling the same front and rear fender set. So I ordered it, put my order in. Few days, and I paid for it right then and there through PayPal. A few days goes by, and I get an email saying that my order was canceled by the company and then they sent some general email saying that there was a problem with my order. They tried to call the distributor, but they were out of inventory. So, kind of furious because I'm looking to get this project done, and it said they had more than one set available when I ordered it. Well, I go back onto their seller's website on Amazon, and it's still saying that they have inventory. So they obviously know that there's a problem. They canceled my order, probably making it delayed, but yet they're still selling off their website, knowing that they don't have that and that the manufacturer doesn't have it either. So needless to say, I ordered new plastics. I don't know if they're going to be in for this episode. So the $20 that I thought I was going to save actually cost me more in aggravation and hassle. But with bad, always is good. And I want to share the good with you as well. So I'm putting all new hardware on this quad. Okay, or for the most part. As you know, I've been going around doing different stainless bolts here and there, this, that, and the other. So what I wanted to do is replace the wheel hardware with new stainless steel bolts. This carriage bolt is what bolts the two halves of the wheels together. And these are basically like the lug nuts or the lug bolts. So I reached out to a company called Bellmetric and placed my order. I ordered one set, but I completely forgot. So the order went through, it was shipping, and I went and checked my order like an hour or so later. Well, what I had done was I had forgot to order this bolt setup. So I was kind of bummed because I knew I was gonna have to pay shipping again, but whatever, who cares? The shipping was only like $6 on this. So I placed a second order. So now I've placed 2 orders with this company within about an hour of each other, and I paid shipping twice. So the following day I get an email from the company saying I've been credited. So I'm thinking this is going to be another horror show where they're going to send my order back because they don't have the stock. Well, what they did was they credited me shipping. I never asked them to. So they credited me the $6 back because they realized that apparently I had placed 2 orders with them. Sent my order nice and packaged up. It arrived super quick. And then they threw in this. And this is a thread pitch gauge, and I just literally went to the hardware store to confirm what these were, and I asked the hardware guy, do you have something like this that I can buy so that for future reference I know what I'm dealing with for fasteners? Because I don't really know metric fasteners that well. I don't have a lot of experience with them. So, great company. They threw in this. They threw in these stickers. So, these are going to go on my sticker window. So I think that when a company does good, they should be rewarded, because customer service to me is big, and it seems to be something that has been slipping over the years. People are getting more greedy, trying to make an extra dollar, and the customer just doesn't matter as much anymore. Give them a call. If you're going to look to buy metric fasteners, these guys are wicked inexpensive. Wicked good deal, and their website was super awesome and easy to use. So, and this isn't, I paid for all this stuff. Like I said, nobody's paying me to say this or do it or any other thing. I'm just telling you because it was a good experience for me, and I don't want to see people have bad buying experiences like I did with those plastics. So my thoughts are kind of to put the rim together, bolt the rim together through the tire, put some lube on it, and then blow it up, rather than try to stretch the tire over the rim. That just seems to be a easy way to do it. For this wheel, we're going to need 4 of the carriage bolts. The heads are a little bit bigger than the factory original ones, but that's not a big deal. That won't be it's not going to be a problem, and it's not going to look silly. We need 4 lock washers. Look at that, dump 4 right out. We need 4 nuts, and we're going to need 4 hub nuts. Now I'm just trying to sandwich these 2 halves together without disturbing that O-ring, and it's probably hard to see because my hands are big and you can't really get down in there to kind of show you what I'm doing. Whenever you put stainless steel hardware together, always make sure you put never seize on the threads, because if you don't, what it does is it'll gall together. It'll like weld itself, the stainless, and then you can't get it apart. The only way to get it apart typically is to cut it. And that's the last thing I want to do after all the hard work that we've put into these wheels is, you know, because there's no way we could do it without damaging the wheels. We'd scar it all up. So I've got some dish detergent in a water bottle, and I just put a real tiny hole in the top to make it dispense easy. Yeah, that's good there. It says no more than 20 psi to fill it, so there we go. There we go. Look at that, guys. Huh? Ha! Alright. I even got some little black, like little anodized looking valve caps. So we got all the tires mounted. Now it's time to put them on. I'm so excited about how these came out, guys. I've never seen this four-wheeler looking this good, so this is quite an excitement for me too. Like butter. These things move so smooth. So I'm going to install the exhaust now, and I vaguely remember the components that came out, but I do not remember this piece coming out. So that's some sort of exhaust gasket, donut, something. I'll have to look into that and see, but it might be stuck up into the engine. That I don't know. So I checked it over. There was a gasket up inside the head, so I pulled it out, and now we're just going to put our new one in. Whose four-wheeler is this?
Mine.
Here, you want to hold these? That's for the muffler. What's in your other hand? What's in that hand?
Key.
Your key?
It's up.
Where's the key? Where's the key go?
Yeah.
That's the muffler.
Mine.
It's yours. That's so it's not super loud, your four-wheeler.
Install the part that I've been really looking forward to, and that's our rear grab handle. That is yours. Relax. Your seat? Yep. Hang on. That's the rear grab handle. It goes on the back. That's right. How old are you? How old are you? 2? Did you just turn 2? You just had a birthday? It's gonna be loud.
So check this out, guys. Look at the crap down inside of that. And the reason for this, or a big part of it, is that, remember the gas tank in the previous episodes, how rusted out the tank was? Well, obviously a lot of that garbage got beyond the fuel filter and into the carb, but hopefully we can save it. These carbs are wicked cheap, so I'm hoping we don't have to replace it, because the theme of this is budget build. But while I'm working on it, I'm just going to soak with some carb cleaner. Let that sit for a little bit. Alright, hopefully these jets will come out, because it is bad. I mean real bad.
Yep, that one did.
You should be able to see right down through that, guys, and it is completely plugged up.
Hopefully I can get these jets out, because they're really bad, guys. Corroded big time. Well, this one all came as one. So now what I'm doing, guys, I'm just getting a visual on the float height of roughly where I think the height is, in case I don't have a spec for it. Now, if you look, it's just starting to make contact almost parallel to the side body of the carburetor. So, tip it right there. Now, and the reason I'm just verifying this before we go any further is so when we get it apart, we start putting it back together, I have at least a comparison as to what it used to be, because I know it ran on this setting. So, this was a running quad at one time. Here's the pin. Here's the float. Oh, the needle just fell off. She is rough. I mean, it's got actual pieces of rust in it, so. Alright, let me do a rough cleaning and I'll be back.
Guys, these jets are a mess. this one right here, which is the pilot jet, this one was completely plugged right up. I couldn't even blow through it. I tried using a piece of nylon from a, just a bristle from a nylon brush. You probably can't see it, but I tried pushing that down through. Then I kind of did the cardinal sin no-no and used a contact tip cleaner for an acetylene torch. Couldn't even get that down through. Ultimately, I ended up using a tiny drill bit and drilling down through the jet. So hopefully I haven't adversely damaged it, but we'll find out, I guess. I mean, it'll either run or it won't. But you don't typically run a bit down through or anything abrasive down through the center, because it will enlarge the orifice and it will run differently. I mean, what worse that can happen is it won't work. But this carburetor is wicked easy to get to, so it's really not overly a big deal if it doesn't work. But now we'll blow out the float bowl. Check that out. A little different. And the way I did that, I just sprayed in some carb cleaner, and then I just brushed it around with an old used up toothbrush. That looks good. That's nice and clean now. So like I say, the only concern I have right now is that jet that I've inadvertently enlarged it. I knew I wasn't supposed to do it, but whatever. What are you gonna do? It's a budget build. If it runs just fine without any issues, then I guess it wasn't a problem, and I probably saved myself $20, right?
You want to use a good fitting screwdriver when you do this too, guys, so you don't strip out this thing, and it doesn't take a lot of pressure. I mean, there's no benefit by cranking them right down. Alright, so there's that. We don't have to worry about the float height because it's not adjustable. So that's kind of all made up for us.
So as I was looking through this, I remembered that there was a little clip that held the rear brake cable, but I wasn't sure on the routing. So, and I knew I did a video. This is an example of some of the notes that I take for myself.
It goes through here, so you have to feed that through. And once it's fed all the way to the back, then just clip it over this. So this is where I started pulling it out right here. So that's the right hand brake cable.
So it's showing it's got a route up to the right side as well. So that's that clip. And then there's another gold colored clip there. Then it runs up through here. And I was lucky to find this also, guys, because this is the original cable. And this is a new old stock. So this is actually a Honda cable from Honda. I had a hard time finding it because, again, it's discontinued. They don't make it. Somebody had this on a shelf, and unfortunately I paid a premium for it, but I don't have to worry about it now. But look what happened here on this original cable. That cable actually broke, and somebody brazed it together. That gold color, that's braze. So I could see that this could be a problem down the road, and like I've said many times before, I don't like problems. I like reliability, and I'm willing to spend a little bit extra to not have aggravation. You know what I mean? And like I said, when we finish this build up, I'm going to go over all the costs of what this budget build costs. But I've tried to spend my money wisely on the things that matter, replacing the things that I can, and fixing up and restoring the things. You know, I would have loved to have built a custom exhaust for this. Or even bought a stainless steel one, but again, we're going on the theme of budget build, and you know, for a $7 can of paint, I think that looks pretty good. It's clipped down here, clipped here, and now it's just run up through. When we get the handlebars on, we'll be able to adjust it and finish it up. So the gap is supposed to be 24 to 28 according to the manual, and this plug is at 25.
Yeah.
So I'm calling that good. I like it. And we're gonna run it right there. Just gonna put a little bit of never sees on the threads. That's what I like to do. Copper never sees. Whose four-wheeler did that used to be?
Mine.
And then no, not in your mouth. And then whose?
Mine.
Did it used to be Mama's?
Not mine.
No. Okay.
Your seat? It's a heck of a place to be sitting, right where I gotta work. Alright, can you hop up on your four-wheeler real quick so I can put this in? We're getting really close, Colton, to starting this, you know that? Good, woo-woo? No, you're okay. You're tough. From when you fell down the other day? Your knee, yeah.
With the carb on and the new plug installed, now it's time to add some motor oil. So I've removed the plug, the drain plug. I've installed a new sealing washer, and we're going to torque it down.
Yeah, I know you can't see it, but I can. Maybe you can a little bit in the shadow, but we're right there. There, let's add some oil.
The manual calls for 3/4 of a quart, so we'll just dump in. I've got a partial here, so, and this is what I use for oil and everything. So it's a semi-synthetic. I gotta restore this switch. I think I can get it looking a lot better. So, but for right now, I've just got it plugged in so it'll run. We'll just set it on the tire. It's in the run position right now, and I've got a remote bottle, fuel bottle set up. And the reason for that is it's just going to make it a lot easier not having the tank on it, so we can just get to the carburetor. If you got to do any adjustments, who knows? I may have to rejet the carburetor or get a rebuild kit. Who knows? I'm not sure. It's just less stuff I got to mess around with. So we're just going to hook up this fuel inlet right now temporarily and see if we can get this thing started. This will be the first time this is run in 15 years. This was all the way in, the pilot screw, and I don't know why that was, but I've since turned it out to the recommended 1 3/8 turns, and I believe this is actually the throttle speed, so this just sets your idle. I don't see any leaks. We're good on oil. Let me lower this down a little bit so I'm not pulling sideways, and we'll see if we can start it. Oh, guys, I hope this starts. I haven't messed with the points or anything on this. Ha! Oh my God, guys. That's the first time it's run, and that bang that you heard, I hit my overhead storage rack with my hand, but that's the first time it's run in 15 years. I just hooked up my DIY shop-built welding fume extractor. If you haven't seen the video to that, I'll put a link up above. But I built this for like 60 bucks, and it works good for doing stuff like this too, getting out exhaust fumes. But it's running a little rich right now, but my God, I'm so excited. All right, let's get going, and we'll try to adjust the carb just a little bit. She's a little smoky, burning off all that paint on the exhaust. Well, that's a good sign, guys. It ran. Definitely got a carburetor problem though, huh? Looks like we might have to take the carburetor back off and clean it again. Was definitely running a little rich, maybe because I drilled that jet out, but it was definitely running really rich. And none of the screws seemed to do anything, so it still could be really dirty. That could be the problem. I've had the carburetor off. I think this is 4 times now that I've had it apart and cleaned it. It will not hardly run with the air box on it. If I take the air box off, it will. So it's obviously getting more air without the filter and the covers on it. It's running super rich, so that tells me that the pilot circuit is actually too large. The idle adjustment does nothing. The fuel mixture screw does nothing. When you put the choke on, it kills it. Even move the clip all the way down or all the way to the top so that it sits deeper in the bore to restrict fuel that way too, and it's made really no difference. I think the reason it's screwed up and not working is simply just because I drilled out that pilot jet. Has to be. All right, we got to work quick.
Yes. Perfect.
So that little pop at the end that you heard, what that was is that was the other side blowing out. You see how it's got that hole in it? So what I did is I plugged off this side of the handlebar so that air couldn't escape out of the handlebar. Then as I put this grip on, I put air into the end of the grip, which causes the air to push through the grip and expand it, blowing it out the end of the grip here, so it like fattens up the grip, and so you can push it on easily. And then once you take the air off, it clamps down on the bar, and like you'd have to cut these grips off now. Those are permanent. That's not going anywhere. So now we just got to do the same on the other side.
And again, we kind of got to work quick. See how easy that went on, guys? It just fattens that grip right up and it just expands, and then when you pull the air off, like, that's on there. That's not coming off. That's not moving. Pretty slick, huh?
Factory. Yeah, because there's nothing worse than getting on a motorcycle and then you see the grips and they're spun, or you get on them and they're all soft and squishy and they rotate. It's just not a good feeling. It doesn't give a quality feel. When you get on something, you want the grips to feel solid, like they don't move, like they're part of the bike, because that's where you're getting your feedback from. Alright guys, about a week ago I picked up a rebuild kit before I started this project with the expectation that I might run into problems. That rebuild kit has the mains and pilots, has everything. It's a complete rebuild kit. So this will be one of the last times that we mess with this carburetor. Because like I said, I got a new one coming, but if I can use this one, we're going to try to use it. So I'm going to disassemble the whole carb, put in the rebuild kit, and we'll try it one last time. Let's get going. Give her a try. Let's see. Choke's on. Wow. Yep, that fixed it. I'm adjusting the idle right now. Yep, that fixed it, guys. I screwed up that pilot jet when I drilled it, so we're all good now. So what we'll do is we'll let it get up to temperature, and then we'll adjust the pilot jet. Well, we'll adjust the fuel mixture. Maybe I'll leave it out a little bit. Oh, we'll turn the choke off. Here we go.
So I'll just sell that carburetor that I bought. We did it, guys! We did it. Guys, this moment for me is huge. I've wanted to, for years, since I bought this four-wheeler, be able to do this, and I would have loved to have given this to my kids, but, you know, life and circumstances and financial things and whatever else that's going on in your life at that time didn't allow me to do it. So, but now I'm at that point and I can give this to my grandson. So it's a pretty awesome day for me. I can't wait to give this to him. I hope you're enjoying this episode because there's only one more left. And next week, I'm going to take you all around the quad. It is getting finished 100% done. I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're wondering what I'm working on before it even makes it up to YouTube, you can check me out on Facebook and on Instagram. I'll have links down below. I'm always uploading stuff there before it makes it to YouTube. New videos every Friday, and we're going to be right back onto some welding videos coming up real soon. We got a ton of welding and fabrication projects coming up. Please give a like, comment, subscribe, share it up. Until next Friday, guys, I will see you then. Take care, stay safe, see ya.